Hey, what's going on, COINOPTV subscribers? Robert Welkner here with a Skype cast with my man Blitzwinger, youtube.com/Blitzwinger, popular YouTuber. Guy makes a ton of video game content for his YouTube channel, and we're going to talk about the Nintendo Amiibo figures in this video. So first of all, what's up, Blitzwinger?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for jumping on my Skype cast. We did
No
one talking
problem.
about some Skylanders. We're going to do one talking about some Lego Batman. This one we're going to talk about Amiibo, lowercase with no S at the end. Got to be very
Yeah, I know.
specific.
Everybody says Amiibos.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
calling them Amiibos all year. Little
yeah,
did I know they're Amiibo.
yeah.
So, first question is, well, normally I kind of set up these videos, but I want to ask you, what are Amiibos? What do they do?
So, I kind of wish that I had one right next to me right now. That would have been kind of nice. But basically, Amiibo, from what I've gathered, is Nintendo's foray into kind of that category of Skylanders and Disney Infinity of having little figurines interact with the virtual world. So the difference with their stuff versus the Skylanders and Disney Infinity is that Skylanders and Disney Infinity interact within one franchise, so to speak, within the Skylanders games, within the Disney Infinity games. But here, the characters are going to be able to be applicable to different Nintendo titles. So you'll be able to take your Mario Amiibo, use him in Smash to level him up and then face off against him. Or then you will be able to take him and bring him to your Mario Kart game and then bring him to, let's say, I don't know, the next Mario game or something like that. And by carrying this figure through, you kind of like develop your own version of Mario, or at least that's what it is in theory. We'll see, or in concept. We'll see how they actually execute on the other games, so to speak.
Yeah, it's all very new. We got Super Smash Bros. Came out right before Black Friday, and Hyrule Warriors. We got the new, what's the one coming out this month with the,
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
yeah, the Captain Toad. I believe the Amiibos do something in there, but I don't know what.
Probably.
I'm sorry, the Amiibo figures.
Yeah. I know, it's so like, I don't know. Some people get too like sensitive about that. It's like, how dare you call it that? Relax, it's just toys.
So I've gotten to some of these, and I've done some unboxing videos. Let me preface by saying I haven't really played much Super Smash Brothers except for outside E3 and some demos. I don't have a Wii U currently. I actually traded in my Wii U and put the money towards Amiibos.
What? Wait, you sold your...
I had an 8 gig.
All right, Robert, explain this to us.
I had
You
an,
sold your thing that makes the Amiibos come to life to acquire Amiibos. How does that make sense, please?
I had an 8 gig. I had the white 8 gig.
Oh, okay.
Wii U, and it was kind of becoming a little obsolete because a lot of games, you can't really download and install
Yeah.
for that. So I traded that in and put it towards Amiibos, and I thought, I'd get another Wii U eventually, one of the bundles or something. But I have 4. I bought Kirby, Pikachu, Mario, and Peach. How about
Oh,
yourself?
nice. For me, I have Kirby as well, so great minds think alike on that one. Mario, Yoshi, and then I also went ahead and got lucky enough to pick up a Villager, which is actually one of the rare Amiibos. I believe him, Marth, and I think the Wii Fit Trainer are the ones that are like going up for a really, really high price. Oh, and the factory error Samus that has like 2 cannons. Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah, you actually jumped the gun a bit. I was going to ask you.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's okay. My follow-up question was going to be what you think of this. We got the game. These figures just came out a week ago, and when we're filming this, and there's already 3 figures that are rare. How do you feel about that?
I think that with this, it's like a weird rare thing because, well, first of all, with Samus, it's just a factory error, so that is like you can't really account for that. You know what I mean? It's not like the Samus figure is rare; it's that specific version of the figure that is rare. But with the Villager, the Wii Fit Trainer, and Marth, I think it's just because Nintendo must have thought like, okay, who's gonna want these? You know what I mean? Like they're very niche crowds. Like, yeah, you could argue the Villager comes from a pretty popular franchise, but it's still niche in the general population, you know what I mean? So in that regard, I think maybe that's why they just kind of produced very few of them, and then now it's kind of created like this weird demand that wasn't expected. And I think that some of the demand now is driven because people just want to get the rare ones, so it keeps driving the price up, which is, I don't know. I've seen the Villager and the Wii Fit Trainer several times at this point, so I was surprised that that one was particularly rare. Marth, however, I have never seen yet, so I guess he really is rare.
I saw Martha during Black Friday. I picked him up and I took a selfie,
Nice.
a photo, and then I put him down and I walked away because I'm not really like I'm sort of dabbling, you know, like as a.
That's a good one to dabble into. You dabble into it. And that's like a $75 figure right now, or $80, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just figured I was like, you know, maybe it's just the first week, maybe they're hard to find, but eventually we'll see like tons and tons of these on the shelves.
That's a
And
good point.
I gotta admit, like I originally thought I would be big on Link and Marth, but when I saw the figures in my hands, I didn't get Link. I thought it looked like he was pissing down his
Yeah.
leg with the yellow rod.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of people have said that. Yeah. I think that in general, I think the ones I picked up more so because they looked good, like the quality wise. You know what I mean? I think that both Skylanders and Disney Infinity as figures, we're not talking about the gameplay application and everything like that, even though right now I think those have way more value to present. But let's say if we're sticking just to the quality of the figures, the sculpt, the paint, all those kind of like, you know, the collectible element of them is way superior to the Amiibos. And I know some Nintendo fans are going to jump the gun here and get all, oh, how dare you say this? But I think that if you look at them honestly, and the amount of paint that some of the Skylanders have is just so much cooler. Like some of those figures are way, way, way more detailed and way cooler looking. Like Wallop, I mean, come on, that figure is amazingly cool. Way cooler than any of the Amiibos. And just the heft, you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you buy a toy, like, you know that feeling of like where you pick it up and it just feels kind of like hollow and cheap?
Yeah.
And that was the case with a lot of the Amiibos. Like when I picked up the Link figure in the box, I was like, what is this? Like, is he made out of paper? It was really odd. And he looks bad, like really cheap paint and way too simple. So I don't know. They have their work cut out for them, I think.
Well, my complaint with Link, and not only was the yellow rod, was just that he was like looking down, and I like to display my figures on the shelf, and I just thought, man, I don't know if I have a shelf high enough that you can actually see Link's head looking down. Like it looked like he was praying or kneeling, you know, or
Put him up
something.
into like the ceiling or something, like with tape. Just
Yeah.
tape him up there, like, oh, look at
Upside
that. There's
down.
Link. One day he just falls in someone's head. It's like, oh, damn it.
But yeah, some of the attention to detail, I mean, especially like as cool as Pikachu and Kirby look, I mean, Kirby is basically a ping pong ball painted pink on a
Exactly.
little base.
Yeah. But
I-
Kirby's awesome. I love Kirby. So I have like a soft spot for Kirby. I love Kirby games. So I was like, I got to get Kirby. And then when I picked up Kirby, I was like, oh, Mario looks kind of cool too. And then I picked up Yoshi. And then I think I picked up Villager more so just because he's rare. I was like, oh, he's rare. Let's pick one of them. So
Well, I like
yeah.
the pose he's in. It's very like open, and it looks very like interesting as a
Yeah.
collectible thing.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I think that you're pointing out and you're kind of like touching on that is very important is I think a lot of people who are getting into this, like, you know, toy / video game category, I think it's important for them to remember that toy element as well. You know what I mean? Because the reason why people like Skylanders and Disney Infinity is not just because of the game. It's because you do get a really cool statue or a really cool figurine to put into your collection. You know what I mean? Like, when have we ever had access to so many really cool and some even obscure Disney characters? You know what I mean? But with Disney Infinity, look at the amount of characters that we get, really high quality and really well painted and such. So I think it'll be important for whoever steps in, whether it be in Nintendo with Amiibo or any future company stepping in, to remember that the collectible aspect of it is also important.
Yes, definitely. And then so we have a few waves coming out. We know about Wave 2 and Wave 3. Do you have? I'm definitely looking forward to Little Mac and Wave 2. Is there anything you're looking forward to? in
King
that?
DDD, because Kirby. So that's one that I think I'll probably end up buying that one as well. Mega Man does look kind of cool, actually. I really like that because I like that rendition of him. Like, you know what I mean? The art style is really neat.
So those are, I think, Mega Man and Sonic. I think are in Wave 3, if I'm not
Yeah, I
correct.
think so. Yeah.
So yeah, we're even jumping it. I mean, Nintendo has built up some hype. Guys like me and Blitzwinger are like, yes, Wave 2, Wave 3. You've sold us. Is there any other figures that are standing out that you're like, I can't wait to pre-order? Have you seen Bowser yet? He looks like
Oh,
he's
Bowser does. Yeah, yeah. I've seen Bowser. He does look kind of cool. I don't know. Like for me, I think it's going to be also a case of like seeing it in person. Because the problem is with Link, I remember when they showed him the first time, he actually didn't look so bad. Like it looked like he was pretty well painted and stuff like that. But then the final product is like, night and day. So
yeah.
that's the problem, is like you can't really rely on what you get as a prototype. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to see it in the stores, and then I'll be able to really judge whether or not it's worthwhile. I think again, the biggest problem I have right now with Amiibo is I don't think that out of the box it has enough value. You know what I mean? It doesn't do what Skylanders do, or what Disney Infinity characters do. It's very kind of like, weird still, in terms of like, okay, well, I have a really cool figurine, but how does this thing really give me value in a game? Yeah, you can level it up and like, have your Amiibo leveled up in Smash Brothers, and then that allows you to have like a more difficult challenge, which is cool, but it's almost like saying, well, you just gave me a new difficulty, but is that really worthwhile to buy a character for? So I think it'll be interesting to see how do they execute on this. I think it would be really cool if they really do follow through of like, hey, this is like your Mario character, so you could like, specifically adjust like his stats through certain games. Like let's say in Smash Brothers, you could work on his offensive and defensive work, right? But then if you take him into Mario Kart, you can make him be faster or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. Of course, you get into weird thing of like multiplayer, because then how do you like, you might have an overpowered Mario. Maybe make it locked to like single player or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, I think it needs more value out of the box to justify a purchase.
All right, Blitzwinger, one more question before we wrap up this video. We're talking a lot a bit about the figures and the interface of the gameplay. Nintendo did something a little strange. They threw a little silver piece of
Oh yeah,
tape under the figure base so they can't work
yeah.
while they're in the package. Reactions to that?
I was surprised. I was surprised because they're coming into this as like the smallest guy, but like Disney Infinity and Skylanders, you can do that. You know what I mean? Like there are people who will, buy a character, play him, and then return it or whatever it is. So I think that's why they did it, is like so that you wouldn't have that issue of kind of like having a lot of returns, or so to speak. But I think that maybe also you can kind of justify their decision, because their characters are like, or at least what they're going for with Amiibo is like more individualized. So maybe they don't want people to like, level up Mario in a certain way and then return him to the store, and he's already in a, like, you know what I mean? He's structured in a certain way as a character. Maybe that's kind of a justification. But then again, we've also known that, Nintendo oftentimes makes kind of head-scratching decisions where you're like, okay, that's not very consumer-friendly, or that's not really friendly towards your audience. But at the same time, they make fantastic games. You know what I mean? And this year, I think that in terms of an exclusive standpoint, I think they knocked it out of the park with just about every game that they did. So, I mean, we'll see how Captain Toad will do. But other than that, so far they've been doing an amazing job. Smash is good, Mario Kart's good. Did Donkey Kong? Oh no, that was at the end of last year, I think, right? I think so.
Was the last. I think that was last year's holiday. But
Yeah. I think it was December, so it was like really late. But again, they always make good games, so at least they have that going for them. Consistency and quality. So that's great.
There it is. Blitzwinger gives Nintendo and the Amiibo figures. It sounds like a thumbs up leading into the holiday season.
Yeah, I said right now, the value in them is in the figurines. So if you like the characters and you want to own a figure of them, there you go. That's really the main value to me personally.
Awesome. Well, we're going to wrap up this video. If you guys haven't seen any of his channel, I'll put a link in the description below. It's youtube.com/Blitzwinger. Thanks a bunch for jumping on and talking to us about some of the Amiibo figures. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, guys. Thanks all for watching.